In this video I'm going to tell you a story about how I got started in this business and how I got my first two jobs, and I'm also going to give you a list of specific advice on how to get your jobs and as a freelance web designer. So if you don't know me, my name is Chris, and I've been doing freelance web design and development for the last 3 years full time, and have worked in the business for many years. I do this YouTube channel where I talk about web design, web development, marketing, branding, and experience design. So if you want to know more about this, please subscribe to my channel. Always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type them in the comment section below, or send me an email and I will answer them. So, as I said, I wanted to tell you a story about how I got started in this business, and it was a few years back. I was doing some development and starting to learn to design and develop in Flash. And I talked to my brother, and he said, "Well, we're doing this project where we actually need a developer. Maybe you could come talk to my boss and see if he can use you." And so I did. I went down there and I talked to his boss, and the project was pretty tough to start out with. A big medical company had tried to figure this out and solve this problem for a long time, but hadn't succeeded. So they asked me if I had a way of solving this, and I actually did. But as I was down there, and talking to these people, someone else in the building came up to me and said, "Well, I heard you're a web designer and know a lot about this. Can we have a meeting with you and talk about a project and so on?" So we did, and that is actually how I got my two first jobs. And this is sort of to prove a point about the best way. I think the best way to get jobs as a freelance web designer is by using your network and using your analog network. We are so focused on the online business, the online network, social marketing, and so on. But as you'll see later, there are sort of more important things to focus on. So I just wanted to say, I know I've talked about this subject a few times before, but I still think that it is very important, and I still get emails about this, how to find work. So to start out, number one, the elevator speech, and you've probably heard this many times before, but it is so important that you develop your elevator speech, that you can tell people exactly what it is you do and why you do it, and what you do different than other people in a very short time. And you will need this, because you have to use this when you talk to people at parties, at trade shows, at everywhere you go, and people tend to ask you what you do. You have to tell them this, and you have to make sure that they know what it is you're doing and why you're doing, and what makes you special. What kind of value do you provide your customers? And talking about the online aspect of your marketing and the task of getting jobs is portfolio and testimonials. You of course have to have a website, but make sure you have a great portfolio, not necessarily with a lot of examples, but just a few that sort of is sort of a part of the storytelling that you are trying to deliver to people. So make sure that the portfolio you show jobs that you want to have. If you want to have jobs similar to your portfolio, this is going to happen. testimonials is so very important because people tend to want to know what other people think about you. People will not hire the greatest designer or the greatest developer if you're a jackass, but they will hire the next best or number three if they feel that this is someone they can work with. And I know that to begin with you won't have testimonials, but it is important to, when you get your jobs, get your work, before finishing the jobs, ask for testimonials, or right after the jobs. Business cards should be self-explanatory, but I still see people forgetting to make these. This is a very low-tech thing, but um, it is still the most effective way of people remembering you and remembering what you are doing. So design some great business cards. Still, using your storytelling, using your style design, so people know that this is part of your brand. Analog network is probably the most important thing that you will ever encounter in getting jobs as a freelance web designer. As I talked before in my story, this is how I got my first jobs, and this is how I've gotten, I think, 90% of all work is by my analog network. And analog network, I mean, people that I know in person, people that I know in real life, that I talk to in different occasions. And often, people will talk to me about what I do, and then they'll go and check out my website, and they'll contact me and say, well, we talked, and I looked at your work, and I actually think that this is pretty great. So make sure to use your analog network. Get out there and meet people. This is one of the most important things. Much more important than online networking and social marketing, all these things. But as designers, graphic designers, or web designers and web developers, tend not to be the most outgoing people, so we tend to shy away from this part of the marketing strategy. But it is still very important that you do this. It is where most of your jobs are coming from. Freebies is also a very great thing to do. If you're struggling to get work and you don't have a lot of experience, find someone to help for free. It could be advice, but it could also be designing websites. Contact your local business network and talk to them. Maybe they know some small businesses that are just starting out and really haven't got the cash to buy a great a big website or anything like that. And help these people out. These people will remember you for what you did, and you will get a positive network out of this. So freebies in your community is a great way to sort of get experience and let people know you are here. Involving yourself in the professional community is another great way to get some network. Again, we are focusing on the analog network here. So figure out if there are any trade networks or professional networks in web design at your area, and join these and help them network with them. A lot of times this is where you will find people like-minded you, and people who will help you, people who might send you work from time to time, or people that will maybe this is people who have a larger agency or anything like that that will hire freelancers for longer periods of time, and this is a great way to get work. And finally, the online network. This is, of course, should be a part of every web designer's marketing strategy and strategy to get work. But in my experience and what I hear from others, this isn't where you will get the most of your jobs and leads. So prioritize your time. Don't spend all your time, even though you're a web designer, don't spend all your time optimizing your website, optimizing your social network, your online social network, and SEO and all these things. Make sure that this is in pretty good shape, but don't focus all your efforts on this. I've the website I'm running at the moment isn't great, and it's old and it could be a lot better. But at the end, it's not really what people are focusing on when they are talking to me. They're focusing on am I a great person to work with? Do I am I easy going, easy to talk with, and so on? And they check out my testimonials and my portfolio, and if they like this, they will probably hire me for some jobs. So I hope you got some value out of this. If you have any questions or want anything elaborated, feel free to write me an email or send me a message. Connect with me on Facebook and Twitter, and don't be a stranger. See you later. Bye.